Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Saturday morning, ready to do some feedback. The feedback show is where we talk about all the things that you had to say, about all the things that we had to say throughout the week. It's a real meta situation, and I think everybody kind of enjoys it and gets down with it. You can find this podcast everywhere you get podcasts, of course. The official weapon of the show is
phone chair.
And the unofficial sport is
bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme. And, you know, there's lots of stuff to get into. But the first people we always like to shout out are the people that take the time out of their paychecks to give us a little bit of money. You can donate to the show by going to the support the show button on the blackguywhotips.com. It's on the right hand side. You can just give us money and we give you a shout out. This isn't the same as going premium, the blackguywhotips.com/premium, where you get behind the paywall. You get a bunch of different offerings and shows that the regular public does not get. So we really have to give these people a shout out because they do this for nothing extra other than just some love.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tithe to the Black Guy Who Tips.
Today's a new day.
Oh yes, new dinero. Let's give some shout outs to some peoples as it slowly loads in the background. Tabitha M, recurring donator. We appreciate you, Tabitha, keeping us in the loop. Corey Deticular, April G, Alexis H, Marlon B, yes, Marlon B, Tanya S, Wanga from Down Under, good day mate, Dostra J, Tiffany B, Shirley Wong Esquire, we always say the Esquire, Alfonso M, Palmetto Stone Magic J4, we also got Kyle K, David C, Jasmine J, Autumn Harvest LLC, thank you Autumn, and James C. That's everybody that put it in this week. We appreciate you. We'll make sure to spend this money. We're gonna go get some ones and we're gonna go down to the strip club
and sprinkle them.
All right, no 5-star reviews this week. So just I don't know. It could be that Chartable where we track our 5-star reviews. When I logged in, I saw there was like something where it said they were having some errors or something. So maybe it's on their side. I'm gonna give y'all the benefit of the doubt this week.
Yes, just
and say that y'all probably wrote some, but we just didn't get them.
Right.
Cause I would hate to think.
I would hate to think too.
I would hate to think.
Yes.
After everything we done been through together.
It's too many of y'all. We done been through childbirths, marriages, deaths.
After all
family
the
reunions,
love and respect that we done brought y'all through.
Come on.
Through the fire.
Come on.
Operation Jazz through the fire.
I would hate to think y'all didn't.
And y'all
did
treating us like this.
So we just gonna go into the episode comments.
How dare you?
And move on. We gonna pretend that this is all just miscommunication right now.
Yeah. Next week, you know, we better get together. You already left one, leave one again, steal one of y'all kids, y'all significant others, the boyfriend's phone, and log into the app account. We don't care. Just give us them reviews.
First episode is, of course, a feedback episode, 2956. Chasing the Dragon. Forgot to take it off music mode. All right, cool. Chasing the Dragon. Oh wait, I guess I can leave it on because it's just us two. We don't have a guest. All right, I'll leave it on. Chasing the Dragon is what it's called. And we got 5 comments on our website, none on YouTube. Of course, Apia says, the first comment, Rod, Apia, you don't seem racist. Me, I take it. I also don't seem racist to myself as far as I could tell, at least. Even if I don't truly fully trust myself, I was 100% raised in a society that had racist elements. There might be some unknown part in me, but I haven't faced it yet, at least. And I did the long internet racism test even. It said I have a slightly preference towards Asian people, otherwise no signs of racism. First of all, I didn't even know it was a racism test.
Me either. I've never taken it.
Which definitely makes me feel like it's a lot of racism going on out there.
But a lot of people probably fail that test too.
I don't even know how you take the racism test. You know what I mean? Like that's
what is your score? You are racist.
Right.
You are kind of racist. You might be a racist.
Right.
Like I don't know how did they score on this?
Right. Like what's a good score?
I know is it 10 Klan hats out of 10? How do y'all calculate this out?
She also says, and I know how qualified Hillary was. Still, I like Kamala much better in a non-rational, purely emotional way. She seems like a leader to me, and I fear or hope in this case that's how most people decide who they vote for. Oh, I agree. I just wanted to push back on the whole like liking and being hyped for Kamala more than Hillary. I understand. I think this is part of also. It's the real qualm with politics.
Yes.
People want to feel excited about somebody new or somebody they've never seen in this way before.
Right.
And Hillary Clinton from day one, I remember when Bill Clinton was president and people were already saying like, oh no, she's the real brains. She is ambitious. She's going to try to be president one day. And that was like 1990 something. And they were saying that shit. So like, the 40 years of just erosion of enthusiasm for her, it just really was too damning and too much. I don't think it was necessarily anything that was truly her fault. I don't think it was any true policy issue. I just think people didn't see her as a shiny new toy that they could get enthusiastic about. They saw her as a staple, a person who had done so much qualifying work with a track record that in politics, your track record is like the best and worst thing, because a long track record means you've been around for a while, but it also means people have some knocks on you. But a short track record means, like Donald Trump had in 2016, there's not much to pin you down on because no one knows what you would do with power or while in power. Kamala Harris actually has a pretty short track record of being a politician. She has a long track record of public service and whatnot, but I think it's what enables people to be excited about the hope of her as a candidate and possibly a president. And so I don't think you're alone in that, and I agree that a lot of people make their decision this way. I've always been a very pragmatic person, a very pragmatic voter, so it's not that I don't understand people for their emotional attachment to these politicians. I'm sure I have some on some levels, but I've just never led with that, and it's never made that big a difference to me. But this is what makes a rally fill up. So I'm not going to pretend or act like I'm above or better than these motherfuckers. If this is what it takes to get people to vote in a landslide, then yes, please get excited and enthusiastic about this 60-year-old woman that is like exciting compared to these old ass white men.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And like I say, it's one of them things where I'm kind of like you. I'm like, that's the person. Let's go. Like, I don't need all these extra things, but I understand that a lot of people need that excitement. And those are the things that lead for them.
Honestly,
to vote.
If I'm being 100% fair, I'm more excited about people being excited than I am about Kamala, period. Like, and that doesn't. I like Kamala as a candidate. I think she's great. I think she's running an excellent campaign. All the nitpicking and Monday morning quarterback shit is not like, she's better than everything y'all said she would be. So I really don't think anyone should listen to these motherfuckers that are like, oh, you know what else she needs to do? Not really, because you didn't really have a plan for right now.
Nope.
So you just sit the fuck back and watch. But in general, I'm very excited about people's excitement. And that's a good thing. I felt this way with Obama too. It was, once it got past Iowa and people got excited about the prospect of him, I was like, okay, this is exciting that people are enthusiastic about voting for the side I would like them to vote for. Sean says he's considering changing his name to Professor Fleek. I think it's Professor Fleet. But yes. EVE says, now that the Olympics is over, it's back to fuck this country. Harris Walls 2024. basically. Hustle for No Flow says, I definitely had the TV on for gymnastics, track, and basketball with a bit of volleyball and swimming. The poll was, did you watch the Olympics? Yes, a lot. Sparingly or not at all?
Sparingly.
Me too. 51% of our audience watched it a lot, though. 31% sparingly and 18% not at all.
Yeah, because it was literally everywhere. Like it was everywhere. Everybody on social media were talking about. So even if you're somebody that don't even keep up with the Olympics, you be like, okay, something happened and everybody talking about it.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't count that as watching it sparingly. I mean, sitting down on the TV and watching it, like putting it on NBC and watching some Olympics.
Yeah,
I did that a few times.
Yes. But I do think that that's how most people count sparingly, like through that experience versus just sitting down in front of a TV, because there is a difference.
Yeah, I feel like if you just caught a clip on social media, you didn't watch it. It's not sparingly. That I hope people didn't vote that way. If you put it on NBC or Peacock and watched it for any amount of time during the 3 weeks, maybe that's sparingly to me. Like I watched NBA. I watched the dream teams, the women and men's basketball teams. I watched some of the gymnastics. I watched a little bit of the track. Like I had it on in the background a few times. I would count that as sparingly. I know some people that basically just their TV was on that channel all the time for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So the next episode is Behated. Episode 2957. Appia says, we have behated in German. Surprise. Who would have thought with our beautiful language of love, yes, I mean German, it's verhasst. Verhasst is like behated. Your friend from Europe, Appia. Otto DeFay says, I found this on, I guess, the Oxford English Dictionary. Rod's bringing back a much needed word that we abandoned. So, yeah, I clicked the link. And basically, behated was a word that did exist, but was circulated out of use. It was used from 1374 to 1577, and then people just stopped using it. So I'm bringing it back, I guess. I was like, did I invent it? Why the fuck?
Yeah, well, I never heard of it.
This seems way too simple to have me. I don't believe that I am the first person in 2024 to think beloved but hated. And of course I'm not. So now we know. Which is funny though, because now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever heard anybody use the term love it by itself. I know you say loved, like I loved him or that's my loved one, but people don't say love it by itself. It's beloved, Anyway, something to think about. Rona Raphael says, now I can't stop thinking about the couples, the therapists that almost got murdered by the folks who claimed her methods didn't work. Best advertising ever. Almost in the category of Fridays chicken tastes so good make you want to slap your mama. I would love to know the name of her practice. She got to have a killer sign and catchphrase. Literally earned it. That therapist good. Certified good. I bet she's out of the therapist business.
Yes, I would retire.
Almost getting murdered is kind of thing to make you go, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I might need to change my profession.
Let's see what else we got. We got some from Erica. She left like 3 comments. Weddings are expensive as hell. It's my belief that most people want the wedding but not the marriage. If you can't afford the big shindig, scale it down and go to the courthouse. The average wedding in America is between $20,000 and $30,000. I was in 5 weddings between September 2015 and July 2016. 2 of the couples not even together today. One had a really nice pricey wedding. The other had a smaller wedding. Both ended, unfortunately. As a guest, I'm not attending unless I can provide a gift of at least $50. For $333, I need an open bar, Roof Chris Catering, performance by Rod and Karen for cocktail hour, and a souvenir gift.
And I'm paying a concert ticket. I want a concert, damn it.
Avia says, our wedding was under $500 and we are still together. It was in 2006. I really didn't want a big wedding. It sounds so stressful to me. Yeah, I agree. Erica says, apparently I'm missing the party by not watching For My Man. I love crime shows. Currently, I'm binge watching Dateline on Peacock. Over 20 seasons and people still think they can get away with killing folks. I yell at the TV like, so you really thought you were going to check the cell towers? They weren't going to check the cell towers, dumbass.
Right. Dateline been around forever.
Yeah, For My Man, I don't even know where you would binge it. I just recorded straight up off of my DVR for my cable on TV One, but TV One may have an app or something. I don't know.
Yeah, possibility.
That being said, the way that I've thought about this, and I've thought, as you can tell, I've thought about it way too long. But we're only watching the people who got caught.
Yes.
So we're seeing the dumbest of the dumb people. So of course we're at home smarter than these dumb motherfuckers. I saw one today where the girl and it was For My Man, where the girl and the dude that killed, like, is a couple that killed another dude. These motherfuckers went on Facebook Live and recorded themselves loading the guns and threatening the motherfucker. This is an hour before the murder. Now, why was this episode still an hour long? I'll never fucking know. This shit could have been a Facebook short. This should have been a 60-second episode. They did it. Like,
this should have been a real.
What's the mystery?
Yes, what's
Like,
the mystery?
they revealed that shit like 10 minutes in. I was like, well, what's the rest of the 40 minutes? I deleted the shit off my DVR. I'm like, these motherfuckers too stupid. I don't need to know anything else about these dumb motherfuckers. But yeah, we watching the dumb ones. That's, if you think of it that way. And every once in a while they will have a smart person on one of these, and they'll actually have some where, like, the case was either like dismissed or hung jury, or they convicted them, but if you really look at it, they didn't really prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they did it, but it was just extremely likely they did it. Like, we couldn't find the body, but we found the note you wrote. We found your fingerprints on the gasoline that burned the car, blah, blah, blah. And so motherfuckers will get found guilty. But I'm like, they might not have been that stupid, because they actually low-key kind of could have got away with it with a good lawyer. Eric also says, last comment, I swear, LOL. Glad Karen is enjoying wearing wigs. I wore a wig since on a bad hair day. I whipped my head too fast and it came off at work. My coworker saw me and gave me a funny look. I was mortified. Lil Pump can go with his graffiti faced ass. Can't name one song by his ass. Hashtag Kamala over everything. Hashtag dog mom for Kamala. Kamala over everything. Hashtag Zetas for Kamala. If you bought a ticket to the Fugees reunion, insert 50 Cent laughing car gift. Love you guys, Erica. Yeah, it's funny. Spotify sent me a thing saying, like, Miss Lauryn Hill will be performing in your area. Do you want to go to the concert? I'm like, I love Lauryn, but no. I'm not, because I just can't spend money that I can't complain about if it goes wrong. And unfortunately, she's in that position where if I come back and I'm on Twitter or on this podcast talking about how fucked up it was that I bought a Lauryn Hill ticket and she didn't show up, or the show was 5 hours late, y'all just gonna clown me. So I can't put myself in that position. Sean says, definitely time to resurrect the old English word behaten. That was a great word back in the day. I don't even know what behaten is.
Or what it means.
Behatan. If I search Google for it, there's a Wiktionary. It's late West Saxon. So behaten. Pronounce your IPA to promise. It means to promise. No, I don't want to resurrect that word. I mean be hating. I want to talk about, like, this nigga is much behated. like when I talk about Donald Trump and I'm like, the much behated president Donald Trump.
That fits.
That's what I want to say.
That
but
actually
to
fits.
promise, I don't want no synonyms, nigga. I want the word I said. That being said, I didn't want to mention it, but I had a bulgogi beef pizza burrito in Seoul, so not sure if that would interfere with your dreams of patenting a pizza taco. No, that's not even close to the same thing, in my opinion.
And I would try that.
Yeah, it sounds delicious, but no, it's not the same. And if you want to try a new way to cook steaks, it's pretty simple. It relies on proteolytic enzymes to make the beef super tender. Basically, cut onion slices half the width of your steak, salt the pan. This will prevent the steak from sticking without oil. Brown the two sides of soup on super high heat, less than 10 seconds aside. Then lower the heat pretty low, and you may want to add a little oil and place the onion slices in the pan. Put the steak on top of the onion slices, cover the pan, and heat it till about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Then flip the steaks and onion. This doesn't sound simple at all. Is a joke that is not simple?
This sounds like a recipe.
Nah, it don't even sound like a recipe. It sounds like a science experiment. Flip the steaks and onions, cover again until the heat is 43 degrees Celsius or 110 degrees Fahrenheit.
You know what? This sound like when you're in the lab class and your science teacher gives you instructions and be like, this is the results that I want, guys. Put out your test tubes. You're like, what?
Yeah, you need beakers to make this shit.
Yes, you do.
Uncover, turn off the heat, let it sit for 5 minutes. Most delicate steaks ever. I'm good. Evie says, for my man, it's my show. It's just one compilation of bad decision. Every time one of these women does something stupid for these losers, I keep wondering how the bomb must the dick have been, because I just don't understand. I think that too.
Yeah, sending them to another stratosphere because they like whatever you want. No, thank you.
Well, also, a lot of people are just down on. They're just down bad. It's just the narrator describes the situations like they're not that bad, but they're desperate, dire situations.
If you really listen to
for some of the people, it's like you're 15, you're pregnant, the dude that got you pregnant left you, and here comes a 45-year-old man who's a friend of your family who lets you move into his house next door and pay and seem like he gonna pay your rent or whatever the fuck. And it's like, I can see why after all the other shit going on in your life, this would feel like a godsend. And then, of course, that's when the murder starts. And you're like, oh, shit.
Wrong choice.
You almost had one, you know? If he wouldn't have been a murderer, we would have just only been like, what a creepy man, 45,
yes,
married to an 18-year-old or whatever. You know, he's 48 and he's married to an 18-year-old. And we'd be like, yeah, that is creepy. But we never thought about how bad was shit. You know, like maybe it's the creepiest. It's creepy, but it's the best of a bad situation. But once the murder start, now you going to prison for this nigga. I'm like, well, now it's nothing but bad.
Nothing but bad.
Keith says, on the subject of uneven media coverage of Biden, right now the Beltway media is having a collective temper tantrum about the fact that the Harris campaign is mostly ignoring them. They aren't the most introspective group of people around, so it's really lost on them that Harris actually had a front row seat to see how they treated Biden and consistently held Trump to a lower standard. Or maybe, more accurately, they held him to no standard at all. So after seeing Biden completely lose control over how he and his administration accomplishments were perceived, largely due to the way the media defined them, I think she's just concluded there's no benefit to her bothering with any of that, and she just tried to avoid Biden mistakes there and try to do it herself. Also, there's this theme among them that she's violating some kind of rule or norm by not making herself more available to them. But the Harris campaign peeps game there too and says fuck that, because Trump has openly shit on every norm there is.
Right.
And that's including this one. That nigga Trump be ignoring the media except when there's something in it for him, but they praise him when he does it.
Right.
I don't say all this with the intention of shitting on the institution of journalism, but I think the Beltway crowd specifically has lost their way from a combination of letting Republicans play them so long and chasing all the easy money from the Trump freak show from 2015 onward. They see themselves as sacred gatekeepers, and their egos don't allow them to see that people think they actually suck at that role. And in my humble opinion, it's good to see the Harris campaign try to avoid the pitfalls as much as they can. Yeah, I mean, I agree with this for the most part. I also think, I think eventually she will do some media stuff. She will sit down with some reporters. They'll do an interview. Like, I think everyone's kind of leaning into this, like, this is going to be the way it's going to be forever. But we actually have another, like, however many fucking days to go. And at some point, she just did a press conference with Biden and them not too long ago. I think you're right, though. The ineptitude and irresponsibility of this media, they're not to be trusted. And I appreciate that the campaign is treating them with skepticism, because the excitement is from going directly to the people.
Yes.
The people are excited with whether the media is excited or not. The media will definitely try to temper and sour them on her because they think that's what is fair. Mm-hmm. I was listening to a podcast there was a British podcast, the BBC or something, because I wanted to hear someone talk about the Elon Musk Donald Trump interview. And I listened to Keith and the girl that him and Craig talked about it, but I wanted to hear like a news source, you know what I'm saying, like one of these hoity-toity talk about it. And I noticed when I went to go look on my podcast feed for my people that normally do politics, None of them talked about it.
Nobody, baby. Yes.
It was especially telling that the Daily hadn't talked about it yet. Because the Daily literally went through every single fucking gaffe Biden did for weeks and would make an episode. They would spend 3 out of the 5 episodes that week breaking down Biden and why the fuck he shouldn't be president.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump has had not only gaffes and all this other shit, but that fucking interview, or if you want to call it the conversation, with Elon Musk is unconscionable.
Mm-hmm. And it should have been covered by them. They cover every fucking thing
they're just not doing it. And so I hate to sound like this because I don't like being. I think a lot of the attacks on our media have really been about people denigrating the institution for not having their biases. So basically, it's Republicans who are mad at the media because they don't have Republican bias. It's liberals who are mad at the media because they don't have a liberal bias, right? And I can see how, like, sometimes that is true. And it's like, yeah, y'all just want, like, you can't expect the media to just imitate the conversations you're having in your small bubbles.
Agreed. But
I promise you that's not what this is. They're not being objective. They're not being fair. They're not, they're dropping the ball on this. The fact that they want it to be a horse race is part of what makes them cover. Like, they see the enthusiasm for Kamala Harris, and they really just want to catch her with some gotcha question. I think they want to catch her with some type of gotcha question or some candid moment that doesn't work, or ask her something that to erode the enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. And the idea that once they get a hold of her, they're going to hold her feet to the fire and really make her answer some policy questions, I'm a bit skeptical of, because when she walked over to the media before she got on her plane the other day and let them ask her 5 or 6 questions, every single question was just about Trump.
Right.
And so it's just hard for me to believe that they really care about the economic policies and stuff. The second part of that is she's going to unveil these policies during the DNC. So a lot of these moments that people are talking about, because her campaign basically had to start 3 weeks ago, get her up to snuff, get her ready for interviews. I'm sure around the clock they're prepping her for debate, they're prepping her for interviews. I'm sure they're doing all this shit around the clock. She was not going to just jump right out and be like, here's all my policy positions, because I'm pretty sure she's still gathering them. They're still taking the best, most popular ideas and seeing, like, what can she sell to the people. They released a lot of economic proposals yesterday that these proposals won't actually be said by her probably until next week at the DNC or something, or at some press conference or at a rally. But the point being, because they were working on it. So, like, if y'all would have asked her 3 weeks ago, what's your economic platform, her and her people got to come up with it. So they really would have wanted to get her on, like, look at her. She ain't ready. She don't got an economic platform yet. So yeah, it might be smart to dodge the media, quote unquote, until a time where you got enough stuff prepared that you won't get caught off guard or be like, we're still working on that. Because these motherfuckers are going to hold her to a higher standard than they told Trump. And they're definitely can't wait for the second turn.
Yeah, and also, it's one of those things where she knows, her campaign knows, and the media knows she eventually is going to have to talk to them. Everybody knows this. But the media is like, talk to us now, talk to us now, talk to us now, talk to us now. And she's like, I actually don't have to. And they're like, you're not talking to us. You're not talking to us. Okay, let me talk to you. And all of the questions are bullshit questions about, you're not even asking her about her, but you claim we don't know your policies. Okay, here's some time to ask. And you don't even ask about the shit you're complaining about. Well, then I'll talk to you when I come with my shit then, because y'all are just fucking wasting time.
Uplifting T says, as a whole grown woman raised in the 80s and 90s, I felt that ride in my soul. For my man would have me screaming at the TV in my best Archie Bunker, George Jefferson roast voice. No holds barred. Yeah. Absolutely. I would not pass the racism test if I was watching For My Man. Just Joe says, why don't Chump, I guess you mean Donald Trump, use Lil Pump's music? or perhaps Amber Rose's music. After all, she was listed as rapper. Play some of her songs. I'm sure she got plenty. Yeah, I agree. Use the people that fuck with you. Coqui Negra says, I don't watch this show for my man, but I'm crying at Rod's description. A Gray Bay says, Rod, you said it's not the weed, but it's definitely the weed. You had me rolling in this office. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought I wrote down some funny stuff and thought, this would be a nice treat for everybody. Just, I don't know why so much shit was funny to me last week or that episode, but I had like 10 random thoughts. Leonard Brother says, I like the Tribe shirt, Rod. Teepublic, bro. Alexandria says the Olympic basketball games were almost going to start World War III. Seeing the women's team dominate China, I was hooting and hollering. Tell us how you really feel, Karen, because them mofos were crazy making their guest foot the wedding bill. Yeah, I would have, if the women would have lost to France, I was not ready for the racist Caitlin Clark contingent
they would act like
to act like she would have been the savior.
Yes.
I wasn't ready for that. Enrique, I would understand, but as much as I'm not I'm not your patronizing, pandering ass. I hate Caitlin Clark because I love black women so much. Like I love black women and I love hoop and I love hoopers. Caitlin Clark's a hooper.
Yes, she is.
I love watching her play. I watched her last night. She was in her motherfucking bag. It was fun as hell. That being said, I ain't delusional nor racist, so you won't catch me out here saying she need to skip the line to get the all the things that are supposed to come with being a great player. You got to go out and be great, and then the shit will come. Like that's just how it's always worked in the past. And until then, you got to get, you got to catch the beats, right? So I'm glad she didn't go on that fucking Olympic team, because I looked at the men's Olympic team. Jason Tatum didn't get to play and motherfuckers mad about that. I'm like, fam, they barely beat France. They needed every fucking bucket. Whatever the fucking reasoning was, they decided Jason Tatum game wasn't it. Now imagine that was Caitlin Clark.
Oh, people would have lost their minds.
On that team, on that bench, and somehow they lose, or somehow they win by one and motherfuckers are still mad. God, I'm glad she didn't get to go. No offense to her. And she looked fucking relieved. She looked great last night. She looked so happy. She was out there motherfucker, because that's the first time she really ain't got to play ball and had a fucking break since last year this time.
Yeah, because she said she literally played like a year straight. So just to give her a break in. On top of that, I was excited. I know that she probably wanted to go to the Olympics, but I could see her being like, thank God I didn't go. So now I could just chill and relax, and I don't have to deal with the pressures of the Olympic on top of the pressure of me being a rookie.
Right. Now, is your screen blank or is it just me?
I'm back. I had to refresh and come back.
Okay.
I got blank and kicked out. I can refresh.
No,
Yes.
yeah, for some reason I don't see you. But do y'all see me? Y'all hearing me in the chat?
I hear and see
You hear and see me?
I
Okay.
am.
And you're on the screen too?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then I won't refresh.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it alone.
Yeah, I know. I had went black and disappeared and had to come back, so it might be something going on.
Okay. All right. Well, shit. You know what? Let me refresh, guys, because
Yeah.
I can't see Karen.
Internet.
I see you now.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the internet blinked for a second, but I'm back now, and everybody should be good to go. All right.
Be sure I'm not on the Wi-Fi, no bullshit.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, I'm kind of glad she didn't go because of that. The poll was. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Was that all the comments? Let me just make sure. I think that was the last one. Yep. That was the last one. All right, so the poll was, would you buy a $333 ticket to get into your friend's wedding as a guest?
No.
9% said yes. 91% said no. So I think I'm in the no's. I wouldn't do it. It seems like that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I want a concert. Like I literally, some Bruno Mars better be coming over there, fucking going to town on the stage, and there better not be nobody in my view.
All right, let's go to the next episode. But first, a little music so I can put some commercials. All right, the next episode is 2958, Game Over. We have 4 comments. Appia says, I also can't imagine Donald Trump trying to start a civil war after losing, but also he isn't a brave man, and even without the guns, and most of his warriors are internet warriors. She meant to say warriors. English is like her second or third language.
Mm-hmm.
So she meant to say warriors, but she typed worriers, like people who worry a lot.
They do.
And honestly, I like that. I like internet warriors as an idea and a concept.
Me too.
And it wouldn't just apply to Donald Trump right-wing people. I feel like internet warriors that describes 90% of people on the internet.
Yes, it does.
Just internet warriors. I know you didn't mean it that way, but that's fucking brilliant.
I love that word.
What is an alternative? A dictatorship. The gay priest chose to have a big career in the Catholic Church despite knowing their standards on this topic, so I'm only somewhat sorry for him. I left the Catholic Church years ago without being gay myself, exactly for its stance on the topic, and other child abuse in the church and their stance on women in church, for example. Yeah, I mean, I was conflicted a bit because, like, it's a violation of privacy, it's not fair, it's not right, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, it's like, a black man who works for the Klan outed as being black, and you're like, did you say he works for the Ku Klux Klan? What was he doing over there?
What was he doing over there? Valid question.
Like, you might win the lawsuit even, but I gotta ask, bro, what the fuck are you doing? There's nothing else a gay man can do in that city. You gotta go be the head Catholic in charge? Come on, man. Anyway. Not my burden, so what can I say?
Agreed.
The Shady Dame says, I live in Reno, Nevada, and I can say that Virginia City, where that poor guy was told about the hanging tree, is actually that awful. It only switched after Trump. Before then, it was a quaint little old-style town where our family would visit at least 3 times a year for a weekend getaway. It was so much fun. Then the Trump signs popped up in all the store windows in about 2016. Got even worse after COVID. The hubby and I went for a weekend away the fall of COVID, and we walked into that same saloon damn, that is old school.
Yeah, it is.
A saloon?
Did you walk in and a whistle? Woo, bow, bow, bow. Tumbleweed behind you and shit. What's happening here?
Right. Were you wearing chaps and spurs?
Yes.
Did it have the double doors, or did that swung open?
I know. Howdy, folks.
It got quiet. The card game stopped.
Yeah, the piano stopped.
Right. But that same saloon where the guy was threatening me, and we had a similar threat sent our way. We were told, we don't allow your kind in here. Slick effing smile, no mask inside. You can't. Oh, so y'all had mask on? You can sit outside with that on if you want. Yo, that's crazy, treating masked people like the N-words of that town. Like, you ain't from around these parts here, are you?
You know, they might well say, you got a mask on, darky.
Ain't enough room in this town for one mask.
We don't allow masks around these parts.
And that mask is the Ku Klux Klan mask. Any other mask,
it's got to go.
You got to see me in the middle of Main Street at high noon, sucker.
I know. We have a standoff COVID shot. At noon, back to back, turn and throw.
I have my 6-shooter. You can have your COVID needle.
Ah!
But one way or another, someone's getting shot and leaving town.
Yes, they are gonna get shot.
Still pissing me off. We haven't been back since. We went from the seriously wanting to retire there in a nice cabin to wanting to burn the city to the ground when we left. That's the same thing that happened. With William Tecumseh Sherman in Charleston. He was like, I would like to retire here, but you know what? I could also burn this bitch down now that I think about
To
it.
the ground.
Eva E says there's absolutely no way they vetted Vance, but I don't think Dump cares. He chose the guy who his billionaire donors wanted. Vance looks like the kind of guy who picks his nose and stares at the booger for several minutes afterwards. He probably eats it too. Weirdo.
Oh.
Hustle No Flow says, wasn't the whole hack supposed to be about a foreign party getting access to 271-page document that they had on JD Vance? I think they vetted him, but didn't think any of his negatives would derail his acolytes, while being sure that he would actually do what Pence was unwilling to do. I feel you, Hustle No Flow, but I'm just saying, the joke I'm making about vetting him is that every day I see something else pop up on Twitter that I'm just like, how? So like yesterday it was a video of a picture of him in either high school or college where like 3 women were in a bathroom pretending to use the urinal and he was watching them and they took a picture. And I'm just like, okay, but knowing y'all stance on shit like bathroom and gender and and who gets the pee standing up feels like you wouldn't want a candidate that even had something floating out there like this, even as a joke, just because y'all are acting like this shit is not a joke.
Yeah, I and maybe it's just me. I actually don't think they vetted him because Trump is cheap. So guess what? You have to pay to have somebody vetted. Like you literally have to.
So what do you think about this 271-page document in the hack that some of it was about JD Vance and you know the questions they had about him and his weaknesses and strengths as a vice presidential candidate? Because I would say like we have proof that they vetted him, but I've been making a joke, which is they didn't vet him.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay,
like I'm just
okay.
joking. I like this person wrote in very seriously, but I'm just joking.
Okay.
I don't think you can be a vice presidential candidate in America without some level of vetting. I'm just saying, did they find all of this shit? How thorough was that vetting?
Okay, and when I say vetting, I mean let me rephrase it. I don't think that they vetted him deep enough, if that makes sense. And so I do think some of this stuff may have been in that, and I think some of this stuff may not have been in that, depending on what the fuck it was. You know what it is.
Yeah, I just like, did they not find this stuff or did they
Right.
not care? Because either way is crazy to me.
I think
with their stances and the people they claim to be representing, they don't play about this shit.
I think it's A and B. I think Trump don't care. Like honestly, like Trump, the candidate, don't give a fuck. He like, y'all not vote for him, y'all vote for me. I would do a solo ticket, but the law say I can't, so I don't give a fuck who my vice president is.
We're also really, really down to brass tacks at this point with the Republican Party and their supporters. There's just you can't hide from the fact that they just are huge hypocrites and don't care.
Nope.
There's no such thing as a Christian evangelical who votes Republican that I can respect. There's none of them can I respect, because at this point you're putting debauchery as your top of the line ticket and telling me don't look over here. That's a righteous, good, God-fearing man as long as he gets my agenda accomplished. Well, that's not a religion then. That's not morals. That's not principles at all. Let's see. Comments on YouTube for this episode. Game over. Let's see what we got here. We got 3 comments. Kevin says, do y'all write comedy scripts? Well, technically I have many times. Mm-hmm. So, yes.
I'm a sit-down comedian. Don't count, but yes.
Alexandria says, everyone getting sued in this episode. The priest suing Grindr is wild. Darnell needs to sue the heck out of the police. Word. Iniguo64 says, I really love the LGBTQ news song. Every time you play it, I rewind so I can listen to it multiple times. Yeah, we got Bobs over here.
We got Bobs.
Shout
Very creative fans.
Our Mike Bro, I believe, is the name of the person that made that beat. And the poll was, did the Trump campaign vet JD Vance? Yes or no? 93% say no. 7% say yes. I'm of the 93%. I feel like they, you know what it is? Perfect analogy. They vetted him like how you think your room clean before your mama come in there. And then your mama be like, this shit dirty. this not clean, that's not clean. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. And then you realize, damn, my room actually not clean. Like, I thought I cleaned the bathroom, but she walked in to me, it was like, did you pine saw behind the toilet? And I'm like, I did not. Well, I'll be damned. You know, like, okay, well, did you take all the towels and put new ones on the rack? I left the old towels hanging. Okay, then it's not clean. Until she pointed it out, it was clean to me. The second she pointed, and now I'm like, damn, it's not clean. You know, I could have mopped the floor. All I did was sweep it. You know,
yeah,
that's the vetting they did on JD Vance. It was like, I don't know, Google him. He looks cool to me.
Or is it that thing where he filled out a resume, they looked at the resume, and they called like a few references, and then was like, that's enough. And it's like, y'all gonna have to do a little bit more. That's how I think that they betting went.
Sure. Like I said, all I know is just when someone else took a more thorough look, all of a sudden all this shit popping up. So clearly
That's
y'all
true.
didn't. Y'all thought y'all vetted them. Y'all did not.
No, they did not.
All right, let's get to the next episode and the last one of the week. The Dimness of Roderick, 2959, where we had Gaster and Shalewa on from the War Report podcast. We got 11 comments on this episode.
Ooh, had a ball. What were we talking about?
Everything. Kiva says, thanks for the deep dive into the Olympics breaking competition. I too am upset that the great dancers and medal winners have been overlooked with so much attention being given to Ray Gun. I agree, as I have a Ray Gun shirt on right now. And yeah, it's interesting because I listened to Gaster and Shalewa's podcast, The War Report, and they did like a deep dive on it. Shalewa watched all the Olympics basically. She knew. And I hadn't listened to that episode before we did this show, but I'm so glad I'm not full of shit because Shalewa knows, and she was like, yeah, I watched the thing and they had these songs and all that stuff. And so I think a lot of comedy people and a lot of the internet have been doing this thing where they just shit on Ray Gun and then they shit on breakdancing and then they shit on just the whole, like, it was disrespectful to the culture, fuck the Olympics. And I just saw enough to know that, well, no. When I watched Ray Gun, some of the women that were against her and the other competitors were good. So I didn't feel, I'm like, she was just terrible.
Right.
There's no defense. I still think it was fucked up that she made it. I don't think it had to be rigged for her to make it to the Olympics.
Yes.
But all these other people were earned a spot. And just because everybody wasn't black doesn't bother me either. So yeah, so I'm glad that, you know, Shalewa was here to give that expertise because she knew a bunch of shit I didn't know. I didn't know about the three, because I just was tapping in for a little bit. So I didn't know 300 songs. I guess they just chose some whack ones for the women the day I watched, but when I watched the men, they was using like more traditional songs that I knew. I love how she broke down the break beats and stuff going back to the old days. So maybe that's why I didn't know some of them.
Right.
So yeah, but I love them. I'm glad they were here. Ernest says, always fun when y'all have Gaster and Shalewa on the show. I have never heard my name so many times in a podcast. Thank you for that, because I think I kept saying earnestly. Also wanted to say I'm here for the Blackout Tips mixtape, whether it take the form of an episode or a separate download or a playlist. Thank you for your good work, and shout out to the chat room. Ramsey D. Jenkins says, 5 stars. I enjoyed this episode, especially the roasting of Johnny Appletree Majors and his Shaka Khan chorus.
Through the fire.
Through the fire.
Yes.
Alvia says, I never watch any sports, and even I checked who Ray Gun is. Is this a win for breakdancing? I don't know. Living with a real introvert and not a starter introvert at best, like Rod. Sorry, Rod. I don't honestly, I don't want to win the biggest introvert contest. If it was an Olympic gold medal for being an introvert, I'm not trying to place. Just letting you know. If your husband wants to go, congratulations to him. I can only laugh about this dimness. Rod can talk about his feelings in full sentences. He takes initiative in meeting his friends and suggests activities for caring to himself. So I really don't know about that. Just that when Mr. Appia was at this level, suddenly I couldn't believe my luck. Yeah, I mean, look, everybody different and everybody got different struggles and stuff. And I know men typically, I mean, many people talk about this, how men get married and then will just not have a social life.
Right.
And be miserable. And then either blame the wife or the wife has to turn into like the coordinator of their social life. Mm-hmm. And personally, I don't want that for me and Karen for many reasons.
Because we're individual and we had outside lives and we're individual people before we met. Right. And just because you're together doesn't mean you have to forsake all of your friends and all of your family and all of their social lives and all of the shit y'all love. And you know, as people go, we got bitch, I don't want to do everything with him and he don't want to do everything with me. Sometimes you want to do some shit on your own.
Yeah, I'm not even like a huge hangout with a lot of people type of guy. I'm not a party guy or any of that stuff, but just, you know, seeing the homies every once in a while is good for you. You know, I go to the gym, I go by myself really. That's kind of always been a thing for me. When I play basketball or whatever. But you know, it's just so I'm not trying to compete with your husband, and I hope, honestly, for everybody's sake, I'm glad that you said he got to this level suddenly or whatnot where he was, you know, kind of socializing and doing more, because I think men can definitely be in denial about how much they need certain things. Yeah. And they just kind of retreat inwards like, oh, nah, I'll just stay home and I'll just be by myself and I got my family and I'm good. And it's like, make a plan. Go see a movie by yourself. Do something every once in a while. Yeah. You don't even necessarily got to be like you doing it with other people. Just do something. It's cool, you know? Rona Raphael says, I listened to this episode right after we're listening to the War Report episode where Shalewa had counseled Gastor. So I almost died laughing when he admitted that it was a cyclical thing. Real talk, as Gastor will say, great episode. When awesome worlds collide, it was amazing and encouraging. Thank you.
Yay.
Then we got this from Proth, and Appia replied to it. Dear Rod and Karen, on behalf of Australia, I would like to publicly apologize for the travesty that was Ray Gunn, aka Rachel Gunn. As a nation, we are proud of our sporting prowess and our competitive spirit, and what we all witnessed was not what we stand for. With a PhD in cultural appropriation, this woman single-handedly destroyed my short-term patriotism and gave breakdancing its grand opening, grand closing moment in the Olympics. My soul left my body when I saw her writhing around on the floor. And when she did the kangaroo hop, I threw my remote at the TV. I felt better when the judges said, I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul. Within hours, she was being clowned by planet Earth, and I was beginning to feel sorry for her. But when I found out her husband was the coach, my sympathy turned to righteous contentment that karma was being delivered. Yeah, she did make a video saying she was getting death threats and hate and stuff. And obviously, I don't agree with, I don't see why I never understand the death threats. So I don't know how many were happening. I'm sure some were happening, right.
But most of them
I hate to sound like a dick. Okay? And if I'm being fair and I'm being consistent, because I bring this up for everybody, not just the people I don't like, even the people I do like. How serious is a death threat on the internet for some shit like this? Like, are you really expecting to get killed because the and how many people? I just feel like we should quantify it. I'm sure one death threat is too many. I'm not arguing that it's not. But I feel like if 99% of the people are just righteously mad at you for being fucked up, I feel like people be cherry picking out like the one person that's like, kill yourself, bitch. And they like, the hate I am getting is unfair. All I did was call that man the N-word. And now people want my kids to die. And I'm like, how many people? I know that sounds fucked up, but it's what I be thinking. Now, I know some of y'all thinking it too. How many fucking people is it? Ray Gun? Because if it's like less than 10 people, ma'am, let's get back to the topic at hand. What the fuck was you doing sneaking into the Olympics on some bullshit?
A lot of times they do that to distract from the shit they were doing.
I still want a 30 for 30. And I need to see the death threats. Show them on the screen. Some of y'all be pulling out the death threats. Because they, like, I remember, and I'm not joking, there were articles we read where, like, a woman would go Karen and be racist towards somebody. And the news would go out and be like, man, why you being all racist and shit? And they never would take responsibility for the racism. They always just be like, I am being harassed online. and I have kids and I am getting death threats. And I'm like, you followed this man to his house out of the elevator, called him the N-word and said, I don't believe you live here. I'm not saying you should get death threats, but I hope you don't think the sympathy is turning towards you on this shit. Nah. You're not about to do this. Y'all be trying to play victim.
Cancer culture can be cruel.
Why did you call him the N-word?
Right.
You know
Answer that question first.
Why was you out here disrespecting breakdancing, Ray Gun? Okay? Let's all touch hands and agree. No death threats. Now, explain yourself. Anyway, the Australian Olympic Committee denies that the husband was on the selection committee and tried to stop it right now, the petition to hold her accountable. Either way, how the hell did she get selected? We have amazing homegrown B-girls who were not given the chance. When Gastor mentioned how someone in Tyrese's life should have pulled him aside for wearing what he did to sing that anthem, it got me to thinking, what the hell was Ray Gunn's husband thinking? A supportive husband encourages his spouse to do whatever they like, but a loving husband would sit her down and say, baby, I love you, but no.
This ain't it. We can do this at the house.
The only solace I could take is that she will be mean for internet eternity, but the shame she brought upon herself and upon our nation will never be forgotten. My mother would always tell me, if you enter a competition, you don't have to win, but don't make me look bad. And Ray Gun made Australia look bad. Thank you for allowing me the space to exercise this demon from my body. I have much to discuss with my therapist. I say all of this in jest, but I'm crying inside. Thank you for the show, and Shalewa and Gastor were fantastic guests. Appia replied, Dear Prav T, Ray Gun is not great at breakdancing, that's pretty sure, but I don't think she brought shame on your country. Maybe on herself, but also in my opinion, it was unfair how she got in and very suspicious, but overall the story was also entertaining. As far as I know, she didn't kill anyone, so I think you can relax as an Australian. It wasn't you who forced her in somehow. There will be an embarrassing story for somewhere else soon. People will forget. No, Appia.
Yeah.
We will never forget Ray
The
Gun.
next Olympic, everybody gonna be like, why y'all ain't got breakdancing? Breakdancing.
Not the next Olympics. For the rest of my life.
Oh yeah.
I will never forget Ray Gun. That was some
Ray Gun is gonna go down in meme history.
That was some I can't believe that shit happened shit that you don't see often in life.
No.
That's like, that don't happen every day where you get a legitimately how the fuck did this happen moment.
Who allowed this?
And Ray Gun out there kangaroo hopping
Come on.
is 100% going to stick with me till I die.
I don't know how, but spinning on the ones and threes houseway, but they did it.
I will tell my non-existent kids my grandkids about this. I'll be like, let me tell you the story of Ray Gun.
Let me tell you, Layla kids, let me tell you the story about Ray Gun.
You not sit on my lap, Junior. I want to tell you a little story about Rachel Gunn in the country of Australia. The country I live in is very famous for that Hitler guy. There's no forgetting that ever. Well, if you compare everything to Hitler, then of course we'll forget about everybody but Hitler. Get out of here. Never again Appia against Nazis. Well, never again for Ray Gun too. Prof T says, thank you, Appia, for putting this incident in perspective. I'd hope our nation will be remembered for deadly creatures trying to kill us more than bad breakdancers. Appia says it will. You have an endless supply of animals who want to kill us humans and just one Ray Gun. But see, Appia, that's why we'll never forget.
The one, the only.
Right. You just make it like it's only one Hitler.
101.
She's the Hitler of breakdancing.
Ray Gun came in on 1 of 1.
I think that might be the title. The Hitler of breakdancing.
That's hilarious.
Oh, shit. But yeah, she the Hitler of breakdancing. It's only 1 of 1. Someone soon will try to play with a saltwater crocodile, put it on film, just wait. But that shit happens every day there. That's not, I will always believe someone got attacked by a deadly creature in Australia. I'll never believe, even after watching it, that Ray Gun happened. I still can't believe it. Abia says, I'm listening to the latest Dear Prudence episode. Suddenly a lady says, it's just me. Everyone is different. Karen, for real, the Black Guy Tips are giving advice.
Oh, I'm glad you listened. We had fun doing that show.
Yeah, so check out Dear Prudence. Our episode is up. Mm-hmm. We recorded it a couple weeks ago, but it's up and the episode is out. It's the latest one. And it's basically a Slate podcast hosted by Janae Desmond Harris. and she basically asked, like reads letters, and then we answer, like give our advice on these letters. And so our episode is titled "My Husband and I Divorced Amicably. 9 months later, he wants me back. Help!" And I think we gave some good and funny answers.
Yes.
You guys know us. We almost literally never give any relationship advice stuff. Just by practice and by the fact that I'm gonna be honest, I don't know shit about y'all's relationships. I'm just navigating this one relationship.
It's a lot and it's enough.
I don't want to be an expert on other people's bullshit.
No,
I like
my bullshit is enough.
Yeah, I like the bullshit we got over here.
Right?
Y'all, what do you do when your man won't stop fucking your sister? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
And don't want to know and don't have anything to say to you about it.
I have no experience in that.
If you like it, I love it. And if not, bless your heart.
Ain't that the truth?
So at any rate, we had fun doing it though. And I definitely do it again. Like, this is good. Maybe, maybe we should have been doing it all along just for the fun of it. But I just think people take it so serious.
They take it too serious. Like, if people didn't take it seriously, I would do. But people take that shit too serious. And I take it too
personal when people leave shit out. And just relationship advice by its nature is very one-sided, and I have to project a lot and have to guess a lot. So, I don't think I could do that forever, because y'all know my brain. It's fucked up, and I'll be like, well, what if this is happening and you didn't tell us? So, Evie says, I love it when Gaster and Shalewa was on the show. I'm a faithful listener to the War Report, and I agree if the killers enter the party carrying a gas store will be the first to go. That's what happens to people with joyful spirits.
That's why we need somebody around us. It's like that 80, 90 watts. We need the brightest of the brightest. They would dim us out.
Clarice is out of his damn mind. I don't know if it's cocaine or, as Justin and Brandon would say, he's just plain old cuckoo bananas. But people need to stop feeding into the crazy. He looked insane in that fake wig and beard. Yeah, I feel bad for the people that worked there when he showed up like that, and they had to be like, this, you really gonna go sing? Okay,
this is what we about to do.
Because even if he would have had rehearsal with a band or whatever, he didn't put that prosthetic on.
He didn't
until motherfucking showtime, and I know they was like, oh, he's serious. Who gonna tell him that he don't have to wear it? Oh, he wants to wear it. Okay.
That's not required. I know somebody told him that.
Does he know it's 102 degrees? Okay.
Right. He might pass out.
Give him some water. We going viral. The more I've thought about the Ray Gun situation, the angrier I get. It was all funny when she was just embarrassing herself, but this is a symbol of how white mediocrity will ruin something of cultural significance and make a mockery out of it. Instead of celebrating her teammate who actually did a good job and all the other breakers around the world, all everyone could talk about is her. She ruined their moment to steal a spot on the team so her and her equally mediocre husband can have a free vacation. Fuck her. I feel bad for the disadvantaged kids who she denied a chance to try out for the team. Australia already has enough problems with their spiders the size of Toyota Corollas and toilet snakes. Now the whole world is laughing at them because of this bitch. Sorry, Wonga. I'm sure Wonga don't care. I
don't think Wonga cares.
I don't think anyone from Australia is defending her honor. I think everyone feels the same way, which is...
I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch. I don't.
Yeah. All right. Comments on YouTube for this episode. We got 7 of them things. Let's talk about it. My mom left the first 2 comments. Laughing emoji. I love when they come on the show. The dimness of Roderick. I lost it. 2 smiling, laughing emojis. Bravo. They should come on the show every 3 months. I will try to book them more often. We love them. Karen, that's definitely her favorite podcast.
I love having them on.
Y'all, I can't. Jonathan Major, slave gear. Oh my God. That was a second comment. Gina says, this was such a fun episode. People who light up the rooms also always seem to be have super involved, nosy friends who sound the alarm in true crime and know all the tea. They always have spare house keys, garage codes, doctor schedules, and screenshots. They do. They be like, she didn't show up for work, and we found her body immediately. I'll be like, damn.
Yeah, they was like, we know something, because that's the thing. Does somebody like that light up everything around them? So they're like, hey, the light ain't here. What happened? Why is it dark in here? Let's go find that light. They dead.
I would have been dead for a week.
I would have found you.
I mean, yeah, I'm talking in this hypothetical true crime world.
Yeah.
If it was me living by myself, and they wouldn't be like, he didn't show up to work. Oh my God. They be like, he didn't show up to work. Oh, well, okay.
We're giving him 3 days and no call, no show. Well, I guess Rod don't want his job no more.
That's his business.
Yep.
I don't even know do he even have a home? He never talked about it.
Never talked about it.
Jason says the 3 characteristics of a true crime victim: 1, they lit up the room; 2, they never met a stranger; and 3, they get the shirt off their back. Boy, if that ain't it.
I'm about to say, what you trying to say about me? I'm 3 for 3.
Jennifer says the dimness of Rod is hilarious. JV City just put a heart emoji. Thank you. Alexandria says, I want a Netflix and Hulu doc on the breakdancing scandal. Kangaroo Karen. The Aussie breakdancing.
That's hilarious.
Kangaroo Karen, the Aussie breakdancing scam. Well, I think the title should be the Hitler of Breakdancing, but we can quibble over that later. Not to be mean, but my goodness, Jonathan's fall from fine to beggar was quick. Did he always talk like a freed slave? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
I don't know.
Yes, he did. He always dressed like he was born in Prohibition, but everybody just ignored the fuck out of that bullshit.
Did you say born in Prohibition?
He has always dressed like that.
I'm not disagreeing. It's just so funny.
It's just hilarious. I be like, this nigga from the 1920s. The fuck is this? And everybody was like, he fine. Yes, he is fine. But goddamn, can't we admit 2 things are true?
I started screaming when he started through the fire. Ben Crump, Sharon Stone. That Hollywood Unlocked event was interesting. Yeah, where are they even showing that? It's got to be on Tubi, right? Brown Sugar. Like, who's watching? Where do you go watch the Hollywood Unlocked award show?
I don't know.
Where do you watch that? Is it just on YouTube? Is it on Venmo? It's streaming on Venmo. You actually have to pay $5 to watch it. Anyway. The poll is: do you ejaculate 21 times a month? Yes, no, or not applicable. Yes, 37.5%.
Nope.
Ejaculate 21 times a month.
No prostate issues for you.
25% no, and 37% is not applicable to. Shout out to y'all for helping my science out by being like, that don't apply to me. So yeah, those are the percentages. Let's get to the voicemails. On this next one, play a little beat just in case I want to put some commercials. Let's get to some voicemails. 4 people called. First one is from Erica.
Hey, Ron and Karen, this is Erica. I'm up here laughing my ass off because Rod just said something that was just hit so hard. A lot of what if, hear me out, what if there was a villain origin story and it was about somebody who was working in customer service? I would like to play that part of the villain because as much as I like people, and I have had extensive customer service work, sometimes there's some people that just take you there. And there are some people who I thought, this bitch is so nasty that I'm willing to take my apron off and I just want to throw hands with her real quick. I know I might lose my job. I know I might go to jail, but she is campaigning for an ass whooping, and I want her to win the election. But I would like to see a villain origin story with them starting to work in customer service. All right, I'm looking forward to this week's episode. You guys are the best. Bye.
She called back. But
hey, Ronnie, Karen, it's Eric.
Before I play that next one, let me just say this. That is so funny because I once had a movie idea that I think I brought up on the show. If I didn't bring up on the show, I definitely remember telling everybody over. We went out to eat and we had a crab boil or whatever, like seafood boil, and I remember telling people like, this is my idea. But the idea was someone call at a call center basically, where you know how people are always really fucking rude to the people that do those random calls when they do pick up? It's always like, hey, I'm calling from the such and such, and it's like, fuck you, bitch, click, ha ha ha. You know, there's people that think that's funny. But it would be like a horror movie where that person kills those people. And so we're all trying to solve, like, you know, the first however long is just people, the detectives trying to solve, like, what do these people even have in common?
Right.
Like, why the fuck are they all dead and they just died in these random ways? There's no relation to them, and it's somebody from this call center that has been killing them, and it's because people are just pieces of shit and they just can't. You could have just hung up. You could have just not answered. But no, you called him a ugly, stupid motherfucker, you dumb ass, and then you hung up, and now you dead. And so, like, that was my idea. So maybe you could play that role. She did call back.
Again, I'm riding around doing this Instacart, listening to y'all, and I just had to pause and stop and make a comment on Trump not knowing V.P. Harris' last name. I mean, isn't the dumbest motherfucker alive? Like, how did he make it this far? How does he even get up and manage to make it through his day? I do know that some of his, I don't even want to call them followers, but some of these other fellow dumbasses that support him are just like, yeah, what is her maiden name? Her maiden name is Harris. She is married, but her brand is Kamala Harris. I'm sure in her private life she goes by Mrs. Emmerhoff, but to the world she is Kamala Harris. I don't understand why that is such a hard concept to grasp. Every day watching this campaign, well, actually, ever since this nigga decided to run for president, I've been asking myself, is this real fucking life?
Yeah, and the thing is, they intend to disrespect.
Yes, that is the whole point, because this is not new. Women do this all the time. There are a lot of women that have, you know, names that this is what they're known for, doctors, lawyers and shit. They get married. They don't change their names. They literally, or if they do, they don't go by those names in public settings or as a professional.
But I guess that's what I'm saying. The trap is that y'all are even trying to explain it. They intend the disrespect. It's like I watched Nancy Mace in this clip on CNN or whoever brought her on as a panelist to discuss things like she's a serious fucking person and not just a racist, raving, bigoted lunatic. So they brought her on, surrounded her with reasonable, educated people who are smarter and better than her, and Michael Eric Dyson goes off on her, and one of the reasons he's going off on her is because she kept pronouncing Kamala Harris's name wrong. But the thing is, she means to pronounce it wrong.
Yes, on purpose.
She just shouldn't be there.
Agreed.
Like, it makes a good clip, argument on TV. It goes viral. People quote tweet it and get outraged. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't happen. Like, she shouldn't be on there. I would never allow her on our platform, because it's just there's nothing to be gained from that. So yeah, it's just such an interesting thing because Donald Trump does it too. And they mean it as disrespect. What I think is interesting is that the media, who always gives him the biggest benefit of the doubt, why aren't they at least saying Donald Trump doesn't know her last name? Biden could stumble over someone's name. He could say someone's name incorrectly. And it was like, why the fuck is he even running?
Yes.
This motherfucker's like, whatever her name is, I don't know. And it's like, that's a big thing if he forgot his opponent's last name. No need to cover it. Nothing to write.
No need to cover it.
Next voicemail.
Hey, Rod, since you guys moved from Spotify, I'm not sure where I need to go to participate in the polls. So can you tell me how to find the polls for each episode? Thanks a lot. Looks like we're going to have another Blue Wave to ride this November.
Let's go. Blue Wave Rider, the best and the easiest way to participate in the polls. Go to theblackguywhotips.com. Every single episode has a post for that episode. And in that post is the poll. You can vote in the polls. You can't leave comments directly on the polls, but you can leave comments on our website. And on the website is where we read the comments. So it's that simple. And yeah, so we're just trying to bring everything back to the website now that we're not on Spotify exclusively. And he left one more voicemail.
Hey, I forgot to ask y'all. When y'all do the movie review show, you talk about Verbal King and Condesose. I don't even know how to spell them. But what anime is that, and is it really worth watching? Thanks, because I've been trying to figure that out for years. Also, I heard a name, Kofi Negra. That's a blast from the past. I ain't heard that name come up in your show in a minute. Okay, now I'm done. Out.
Yeah, Kokwi is always listening. She normally just comments on Twitter and tells me that she's gonna quit me and that she's done and that her mama loves or hates me. Or, it's a lot going on over there. But she's been like a super faithful listener for a super long time, all the way back to the days of Twib. And the question that so it's not anime. It is a movie. It's The Usual Suspects, which is a movie. I believe Kevin Spacey is in it. The cast is fucking crazy. And it's one of the greatest movies of all time from 1995. The Usual Suspects, starring Benicio del Toro, Gabriel Byrne, Stephen Baldwin, Chaz Palminteri, and like I said, Kevin Spacey, Giancarlo Esposito, Kevin Pollak.
I've seen this years ago.
And so the character that is in there is this criminal mastermind named Kaiser Sose. And Verbal Kent is Kevin Spacey's character. And the story is told through like Verbal Kent, who is in a police interrogation. He's running down like this crime that happens, and the rest of it is like living through the flashbacks. I won't spoil it because it sounds like you've never seen it, but one of the greatest plot twists of all time. And so I always remember that moment, the Kaiser Sose moment. It's just, oh God, what a fucking movie. All right, let's go to the next two voicemails. We got two last ones, EVE and then Allegra.
Hi, Rod and Karen. This is EVE. I was just calling. I just had a few observations as I was enjoying my, roasted turkey bacon ranch sandwich from Arby's, which was very delicious, by the way, about the election. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like Dump has looked a lot less orange recently, and I'm not sure if this is like a strategy so he can appear more white. I know it sounds crazy, but it just looks like he's a lot less orange than he has, and I'm thinking it's because he's running against a black candidate.
Yes,
he's trying to appear more white to appeal to his constituents. And I know it's crazy. I know you don't think he's that smart, but I feel like in his mind, this is something that he would do. I think it's a dumb strategy because it makes him look really tired and even grosser than he usually looks. But it's just a thought. But I just wanted to share the observation because I think he knows he's losing and he just seems tired and old. And I think that his campaign is in a shambles, and good for him because fuck that guy. Anyway, and as always, love your show. Love you guys. Bye.
I don't think that's crazy at all. But it's also because I don't think that is smart. So I guess for me, I wouldn't count that as like he's so smart, and I don't normally say he's smart, but I got to give him credit on this one. Like, I think that's a dumbass thing to do. So I wouldn't put it past him, but let me be fair. I ain't been paying that much attention to the motherfucker to know if he's more or less, white than he was yesterday. So I can't even say.
And I think that like you say, he's not a smart man. So I don't know if it's intentionally, unintentionally, but yes, he's not as orange. Even in the things of his assassination, he doesn't look as orange. Because that orangeness was kind of his signature because the shit matched his hair. And he just looked like a big ass Cheeto dust ball. And so it's like, oh, okay, I don't see that. And I think a lot of that was to cover up all that tiredness and wrinkleness and shit. But when you don't have it on, you get to actually see his real skin.
Yeah, I don't know. He probably ran out of money.
And yeah, so he probably couldn't pay the artist, so they stopped paying, spray painting them.
Yeah, the orange budget ran out. He got to use that for his legal defense. I don't know.
I bet you so.
Last one.
Hi, Rod and Karen. It's Allegra. Calling just to make this quick, hopefully. I'm listening to the feedback episode. I'm catching up. I'm way behind. So I'm on 2916, eyes out, thighs out. And I'm calling because I wanted to say, Rod, that I loved your Stephen A. Smith. It was cracking me up. But then you turned around and did Michael Eric Dyson, and that one, to me, was on point. Back when I was young and naive and watching Bill Maher, that fool was always on it, and your voice was so spot on, and your cadence was so spot on. I was like, oh my God. So anyway, you had just said, no one commented about my Michael Eric Dyson. Well, I was actually going to call before I even heard that to tell you how much I loved your Michael Eric Dyson. Anyway, you two are the best, and I'm excited about getting to the point where you guys realize Kamala is our nominated, or I don't know, but soon to be nominated Democratic candidate. So anyway, talk to you guys another time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, baby.
Yeah, that's so funny because I remember one of my favorite, because I don't do impressions. J.L. Cobain does impressions.
He's very good at it.
I do very limited things that I think are funny, and I don't think they're very accurate. But you find something in it that is funny about it. And I still remember one of my favorite episodes we ever recorded is episode 934 from April 2015. It's called Black Academic Beef. And it's when, we had the Three of Negroes on. So this is an old. Ray, Jim, and Neruda. We had them on, and I read through the Michael Eric Dyson versus Cornel West, like back and forth, and was doing Michael Eric Dyson, reading it. Oh, God. That's one thing I will say. My impressions make me laugh, and I really don't do them for anyone else. Like, if you get something out of them, that's beautiful, and I'm so glad when it happens because it means we're on the same wavelength. But, like, if someone wrote in and said, God, I've never heard a worse Stephen A. Smith in my life, I'd be like, that's fine.
Yeah, I understand.
Absolutely. I don't go back and listen to him to see if I can make him better at all. It's all just, like, to me, that's what he sounds like, and it's funny that he sounds like that. And the same thing for Michael Eric Dyson. That's one of my favorite, and it's just so rare to get a chance to do it, But yeah, maybe I'll play that clip from him and Nancy Mace and try to do something tomorrow or something. But yeah, all right, that's it. The last thing, of course, is voicemails. So we're about to get emails. We're about to get into those. But first, we got to have a beat.
Psycho.
That's nasty.
There's old friends and new friends and even a bear. All right, we got emails. Tara says, House of the Dragon recap feedback. Hey, Rod and Karen, going to miss your recaps. They're the best and always hilarious. Karen Tarkarian, I love that wig, girl.
Thank you.
Are there any spinoffs you're looking forward to, or are there other stories and spinoffs you'd like to see? I mean, I guess I'll watch the next ones. I'm dubious about the quality, just because it's like you're starting to stretch it thin. And part of what made Game of Thrones, the original, so good is that the world has so much lore that the creators honored, but did not just walk you through all of it. And that was fun. It felt lived in. I wonder as they start to explain more and more, if it loses a little bit of the allure of like, oh, now you're just telling me exactly how this works, and it's a little less mysterious, you know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to. I think I'm looking forward to that Aegon the Conqueror storyline, because so many people just keep. All these motherfuckers are just like, the Conqueror. He had a dream, the Conqueror. He was one of them ones. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? What actor could that be? What the fuck does that look like?
Right.
I would like to see that, you know. Do you have an MVP actor or favorite moment this season? For me, it's Otto dressing down Aegon and BBL Drizzy. God damn. That was my Patty. Like how Patty was when he motherfucking was old Viserys and he was fucking the crypt keeper at dinner, and he did that, you know, that Big Mama speech.
Yeah, that nigga acted his ass off.
That was amazing in season 1. Season 2, Otto, I almost hate it happened so early in the season and that we don't see him again until the closing credits, because that motherfucker read them for filth. He was acting.
He was hot.
He was acting down on those motherfuckers. He went Shakespearean on their ass. I said, oh, that's why. Oh, that's how he got it. So I think that might be it for me. Karen?
I enjoyed that one, but I think my personal favorite is, I don't want to mispronounce his name, but the youngest brother who was like became king.
You mean Aemon?
Aemon, right? Because I was gonna say Aegon, but I don't think, I was like, my brain was like, that's not right. Aemon. I really liked Aemon when he was talking to his mother. That person.
That was good.
That personality change, that switch.
He was so good before they just like fast forwarded to him being crazy as fuck and killing them innocent people. But when he was just like running the council, he was in his bag. You know, I love the meeting where he was running it, even when Aegon was still on the throne, and he was like, yeah, so this gonna be the battle plan. But yeah, I mean, and then, you know, it's cliche to say, but I actually think it does deserve credit after the finale and how people are basically gonna always shit on that finale. But poetically and just thematically, the conversation between Alicent and Rhaenyra at the end, so good. So good. Because it's just a tragedy. Like, these two best friends, if they would have just fucking opened their hearts to each other, none of this would have happened. And now it's too late, and it's gotta happen. And y'all are losing your children to this bullshit. And them having that like heart to heart, but not really heart to heart. That was a good scene. That was a good scene. So, are there characters you want to see interact next season? We'll see. Who didn't get to interact? Ulf and Daemon.
That's gonna be a good one.
I would love to see that.
Because Daemon ain't gonna
either
be
Daemon gonna kill this nigga,
yes,
or they gonna be best friends.
One of the two is gonna happen. Yeah.
Cause what the fuck is off? Like, I get that he like, and like, I know that it's written to it. Like, the thing I like about the Game of Thrones universe is that sometimes the obvious happens, and in any other show it wouldn't, because the other shows are trying to give you a swerve. So like, they could take off and like swerve it, and he's actually a legitimate hero and a problem in battle, and he's much more prone to be like the guy, the man, than any of us were prepared for. And that would be the typical swerve that you take with a character like this, is everyone thinks he's a fuck off, and then he comes back and you're like, oh, actually he's quite brave and daring. But like, low key, I kind of would like if he just fucking ate it. Like, just battle number 1 just fucking dies, and we're like, this nigga was never taking this shit serious. Because sometimes Game of Thrones does that, and that's what makes the show great to me, is these moments where it's like, every move this character has made has shown that they are not a serious person and they are fucking up.
Right.
And then the show goes, y'all right. They about to die.
Y'all right.
And I love that kind of shit. You know, those are the swerves that are the best. Like they make it seem like we wouldn't, but it works. Like a great one is, of course, the Freaky Prince getting killed by the mountain. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Because everything about that character was like, yo, this dude need to get the fuck out of here. Because these motherfuckers are crazy, treacherous people playing Game of Thrones. And he's just in here fucking and having fun and cracking jokes and offending people. Mm-hmm. And when he started touchdown dancing, boy, that was one of them moments. So
I was crushed.
Yeah, he was too, in the head.
We both was crushed.
And so, like, that was a thing that happened. Of course, in season 1, Ned dying, is a complete, like, if you go back and watch season 1, you're like, he should die. He keep playing the game, and everyone is warning him. He keeps playing the game like people are honorable. Like, oh, I'll just talk him out of it. No, don't tell nobody your plans. Do the shit in secret. So anyway, I think I'd like to see Damon and Ulf. Anyone else? Oh, Damon and Amon, for sure. Because they've done too much with those two characters, comparing them to each other, for them not to have at least a fight or a conversation or something. It will be interesting. This isn't high on my priority list, but it will be interesting to see if Laris and Sir Simon Strong ever met up or talked or whatever, because we know Laris is the real dude that just abandoned Harrenhal, took all the gold and left them in disrepair. Mm-hmm. But that's low on the list. I can't. And then just for the love of fucking God, do something with Rhaena. God damn. If I watch this little girl chase this dragon anymore, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. She needs some real dialogue and some motivations and stuff. If you gotta kill off some people next season, do that and then bring her up into the fold, because I think she deserves more as a character. Because right now she is the most basic of the stories, but she got a dope story of going out and claiming this unclaimed dragon possibly. We need more about her as a character than just that.
It would not be, this is my hypothesis, it would not be surprising if they actually did a lot more scenes with her, but they cut that shit due to budget or whatever. I guarantee you, it just was not her running around. I promise you.
It just doesn't make sense in a show like this. But they was like,
well, what do we do? I guess she'll just run another episode. We don't know what else to do.
Yeah, in a show this big, it doesn't make sense to sideline somebody like that.
Yes, and I could see something to where, I know it sounds crazy, but they may even just skip her actually, quote unquote, going through the process of taming the dragon, and next time we see her, she's just flying that bitch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Alicia says, y'all, so it won't be 3 weeks from now. I had to minimize my work screen and write to y'all real quick. I'm listening to episode 2956, and y'all brought up Karen and the popcorn. Karen and that damn popcorn. I laughed so hard when it originally happened. I was dying laughing, and my coworkers were looking over at me over their computer monitors, all concerned.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Listening to Karen re-describe her thought process during the act made me laugh even harder than the first time.
It don't make sense at all, y'all. I know it's irrational and illogical, but I was just telling the truth.
Real tears, good news for me. I'm working from home this time. Bad news for my husband. He had to hear me explain why I was crying laughing. He came upstairs because he thought he could hear me crying at my desk. I tried to explain everything. He just walked away shaking his head. As I laughed, I wiped tears at the same time. Oh, that was funny. Thank y'all so much for everything. The other Alicia that used to write into the show.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you, Alicia. And yeah, that still doesn't make sense. But
nope.
And we got a text from Keith, who listens to the show sometimes, and he was laughing after it. And what's funny about that is that Keith is an extreme stickler for sound on his show.
Yes, he is.
He would have fucking been mad as hell about that shit forever.
And like, what the fuck you doing?
Meanwhile, he's encouraging it on our show. Like, this is hilarious. I'm like, is it though? It's hilarious because you ain't have to deal with that shit. That's crazy. It makes no fucking sense. You ate right into the microphone.
It was like, oh, you hear that?
You can't secretly sneak food in front of the microphone. Oh my God. All right, the next episode is feedback and banter from Jen. Hey y'all, I've been looking for an excuse to get into my producer bag, so I made a little ditty for the banner segment. Attached below. My artist name is Isabalu. Okay. But this one is just for the pod. I'm about to listen to Gaster Shalewa episode, so I'm sure I have more to say once I finish because I love them. Well, first of all, let me play the new banter.
Thank you for the beat, baby.
Song that she sent us. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? 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 Do you have any banter?
I do.
Talk to me.
I do.
Banter. Talk to me. Do you have any banter?
I do.
Banter?
I do.
Oh,
That's
my
adorable.
God.
I like that.
Oh, y'all are so talented. We really don't deserve. Like, it's really like, to even have multiple things to be able to pick from is so crazy to us. Cause like, we listen to a lot of podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times the calls don't come in. They don't get the submissions. I don't even think we asked for this. And it's a fucking bop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play it again. I'm sorry, I have to hear it one more time. It's so good.
Ain't it dope?
Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? 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 Do you have any banter?
I do.
Talk to me. Banter. Talk to me. Do you have any banter?
I do.
Banter?
I do.
Ah.
I like that.
Oh man, that's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the people that was like, well, isn't it just really random thoughts? Well, we wouldn't have got these dope ass songs. So you're welcome that I rebranded it. But yeah, thank you, Jen. She goes on. I also want to chime in on the Trump using Celine's song for his rally. First of all, Using My Heart Will Go On is hilarious. Also, I have my music spread across a few companies that can pitch them to film, TV, and ads. Whenever I sign with a new company, I make sure that there's a clause in my contract that they cannot use my music for political campaigns for this very reason. If I can't negotiate that into my contract, I make sure that I have approval rights, which state that as long as I respond within a reasonable time frame, which is usually about 24 hours, since some of these projects, especially ads, can move very fast, that I have the right to deny placement in something like a Trump campaign.
Right.
Yeah. And I think the Trump shit is almost like Drake, where they don't ask permission and they know that the artist wouldn't support it.
Agreed.
And then it's like they just gonna have to come and make us stop. So send the cease and desist and then we'll do it.
Right.
All that being said, Trump is obviously not checking contracts, and that's why music keeps getting pulled from his rallies and he keeps getting sued. I mostly just think it's hilarious that none of these musicians want to touch him with a 10-foot pole. It's the little wins for me. Have a great weekend. I agree, Jen, and it's funny too because like I said, they have a bunch of musicians that they could use,
make shit all the time,
who wouldn't have a problem with them using it. But them motherfuckers are whack.
Yes, they are. They're whack as shit.
They whack. So they want the Republicans are so greedy. They want the cool of celebrity while hating celebrities and standing against all the positive liberal things that most people that make art are for. Mm-hmm. So just greedy. But oh man, thank you so much, Jen. I follow her on Instagram. I always see her on there like posting and working on music and doing all this beautiful artist stuff. And so it means a lot that you even send that in to us because that's definitely going to get its work. It's going into the rotation. Okay, so let's see. Alicia writes back in that says, y'all, I'm writing this at my desk in my office so I can be on time and topical. Rod, I completely agree with you on the For My Man and Snap narrators. My husband hears the lady's voice and he already knows what time it is. The narrators for For My Man and Dateline, the long running white people For My Man, I have you thinking you wrong for not being a psychopath. Ma'am, You are narrating a show where someone was murdered. Don't try to get me to side with the murderer. I know.
Don't get me to side with the murderer.
Because some of the murders be heinous as fuck. I'm like, why are you trying to make it seem like this was reasonable? Like, there was one woman, she had a man. She had a bunch of miscarriages, so she couldn't have a baby.
Okay.
So, which is sad. But then she went and befriended her friend, a woman from high school, who was pregnant, killed her, cut the baby out, lied and said that she was the that she was the one who delivered her baby, and that the woman attacked her. Went to jail, and it was all. I went to the hospital, and it was all because she was worried that her man would leave her if they couldn't have a baby at some point. But they were telling the story in this way of like, you know, she said that the girl bullied her in high school and she just lost it all of a sudden. And I was like, no, she clearly befriended this woman 2 weeks out of, just saw she was pregnant on Facebook, befriended her. This is one of the most savage, meticulously plotted crimes.
Cut that woman.
It is cold-blooded as fuck.
Yes, it is.
And y'all out here trying to get me to be like, damn, she got bullied in high school. Well, I guess it's okay to cut a baby out of someone. Like, fuck out of here.
It is not okay to do that.
Anyway, nice try for my man. And that was weird for my man because the man didn't even want that shit. She just did it.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Like I know he was confused as fuck. Like, for my man, what? No, take me out for my man. This Fatal Attractions.
Right. I didn't request this.
Yeah, this is snapped. I don't want this.
Yeah, she was lying to him about the pregnancy the whole time and shit too. It was crazy.
People that sit next to you at the gym and break it out the secret menu exercises make me sick. Use the machine the way the little pictograph says to use it. Don't come over here doing all that expert shit. What you want? Extra credit? That's all. I just want to join in on the fun. The only Alicia that still writes into the show. Thank you, Alicia. And I will say, I don't have a problem with the people that use the machines the extra way. I'm not one of them, but I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem with I'm using the machine the regular way, and you just come in there and throw like twice the weight. I'm like, you not do that in front of me. You could have did that when I left. What you doing? Our girl Sid writes in. It says title 2959. I read this title as the dimeness of Rod. I thought we were getting some traction on the gym pics.
All them tens.
I just knew Karen was on here. My man. No, it was the opposite. You been fine, brother, but the increase in content definitely gonna bring the thirst to the trap. Karen, keep that ear to the streets. Oh, thank you. And Sia would know. She's out here trapping us. Okay, every day I log in, it's just like, hey. She made the algorithm. My algorithm is mostly just thirst traps and Instagram models.
If you make the algorithm, you're doing good.
My IG is like she's up there with the other IG models. So, and it's like, and it's not all thirst traps. Some of it's just like family pics. Like, oh, we went to the pool and we had a vacation. And my IG is like, but look at them titties. I'm like, okay, IG, all right. Well, heart, we want to respect.
Well, out of respect.
Okay, we want to support.
With respect.
Right. With all due respect. Okay. Mike says, and Mike sent this email, Mike Kaplan.
Okay.
He says, y'all, he says, Rod, Karen, I just heard you on Dear Prudence. Y'all, I listen to that show regularly. It's one of my favorites, and you two are two of my favorites. So it's lots of favorites all smushed together. Y'all were great, as always. And I said, you are so sweet. Thank you. It was fun to be asked, and we are glad you enjoyed it. And he said, you are sweet. You. Everyone is sweet. And he's right.
I love Mike.
All right. We just over here just sweeten it up. And then Terry just wrote in a minute ago and says, Tom Cruise. Hello, Rod and Karen. I'm not sure if you saw this and I missed you commenting on it. I want to make sure. GOAT Impossible White Man. Oh, and it's I think Tom Cruise did a stunt at the Paris Olympics where this motherfucker, like, for the next, what do you call it, with Mission Impossible or something, he like, oh, I gotta watch it on YouTube. Okay, let me share this tab instead. But I guess he like did a stunt at the fuck. I just think, here's the thing, guys. And yes, I understand he's in the cult and all the stuff that y'all hate about him. I get it. But one of one.
Oh, I love me some Tom Cruise.
There's zero movie stars that we have on this earth who are willing to do what the fuck he just did.
Agreed.
Everybody worth too much money and they too scared and they don't love us, the viewing public, enough for all that. I'm watching Halle Berry's new movie, The Union, on Netflix right now, and like I don't mind that it's a stunt person that got to do like 75% of that shit, because I would do that too if I was her. I'm too fine and been too fine for too long to run into plate glass. Y'all better get somebody else to run into this plate glass. But motherfucking Tom Cruise, he gonna run into the fucking plate glass.
Yes, he is.
I know his motherfucking stunt doubles are just there for lighting. Like,
yes, they are.
We need to set up the lighting for this shot. Tom's in this trailer.
His stunt people's work is for some of the non-stunt shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When it's just like, we need to set the blocking and the lighting on this shit.
There's like, okay, I guess I go to work.
This is an insane man. Like I see why Scientology is like, look, just make him the face of it.
Back him the face.
And then we won't be able to explain it. People will think it's a cult. They gonna know. But if we tell them the power of believing in these fucking aliens will make you do shit like this, it's gonna be some people that sign up. I'm not one of them. I respect the cinema.
But we gonna get somebody.
But I know it's people signing up because of this nigga. They absolutely like, I just need that power.
One day.
Yeah, I need to be able to feel, not run into him. I mean, I need to live a life that'll make me jump off of this shit with no questions asked. Like, I wanna live a life of learning to fly a helicopter for a 5-minute scene in a movie. Because I need to be in the cockpit. I don't want them to CGI my face. They need to see it's me blowing this motherfucker up. Crazy. All right, that's it, y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll be back throughout the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.